All right. What is up, everybody? My name is Richard Terrell. I go by Kirby Kid, and you are watching a game breakdown session. This is a video game made by Dave. You can see him here in the web cam, and we are doing a session where we play this game live. We break it down, game design wise, live, right in front of your face, and we do a really thorough job of examining this game in order to hopefully give the best possible feedback we can. So Dave can continue to create amazing games. So, Dave, do you have any preliminary words you want to share?
Yeah, just to give a quick intro to the game. So the game is called Toasty Times. It was created over the last 10 weeks by myself and two other students at DePaul University as part of the game's MFA program. The assignment for the class was to just focus on making 1 minute of compelling gameplay. So we decided on marshmallow roasting as the thing we were most interested in building something around. Built this, and really proud of how it turned out for short development time, but are now trying to take a step back and then look at what else it could become and where there's opportunities.
Very good. Yeah, so some of us here on the crew, we got a small group of people. These are the design-oriented team. I got my brother here, Marcus. We have Harbris and Mark, or Akamarak. We will all be playing your game live, as you can see the multiple screens there. Some of us have played it already and some haven't, so we're just going to jump in. Always the first thing to do in a situation like this is just to make observations. So everybody on the team, we're used to working in a spreadsheet. It's all collaborative. It's all in real time. Drop your observations into the appropriate column and just play, talk, and we'll take the next few minutes to see what this game is all about. All right. Let's see. I want to squish this. Squish. There we go. And I'm going to play as well. I got my stream going.
All right, let's get toasty.
So, I'm hungry.
Is there no meat? I just actually ate some marshmallows. I probably should have waited. But I could probably just set some things on fire to make up for that.
So you can hold with the mouse button and then remove your ground. Oh, you can light your marshmallow on fire. Oh, that's right. I believe you can press spacebar to blow out the fire. All right.
We'll do only one stream volume at a time. There we go. And I will read the rules. To rotate the stick, use the mouse wheel or the up and down arrows. Doing this also rotates the marshmallow, letting you roast both sides. Okay. Move the mouse up and down while clicking and holding in order to pivot and move the stick. This moves marshmallows closer or further from the fire. The meter in the bottom right will help you know how close it is to the fire. Okay? With instructions. Holding the marshmallow closer to the fire will cause the marshmallow to roast quicker. Yes. The marshmallow side will turn from white to golden brown to black as it roasts. When you're done roasting the marshmallow, you can choose to eat it, give it away, or submit it for inspection. Eating it will make it disappear, giving it away will invite a friend to sit with you, and submitting it will allow you to earn achievos. Alright, let's get toasty. New marshmallow, of course. I will get away. Admire achievos. Marcus found a possum.
Yeah, when you hand it in for inspection, possum comes up and starts talking to you.
Inspector possum. Cool.
Oh, one potential thing. So we noticed mine was a different resolution compared to the other screens. I'm not sure if that makes a difference, but when I switched out to go to the spreadsheet and came back, and I can't pressing the done button isn't working for me anymore.
Okay. Thank you. I will note that in our bug fixes. Yeah, we switched it from fixed to variable resolution like the last day of the project, and that introduced some new problems.
Gotcha. So I'll get mine restarted.
I'm going to list all the achievos, so if anybody else is looking at that, I got that. Gold and golden.
Okay.
Unroast, charred, dark side, flambe, smoldering, hot. Unless I'm just smoldering. Burn, baby, burn. Free fall and rapid roast. Slow roast. You rock. Nice. Cool. I like
possum.
I like this sash. Let's see. So I need to get my first marshmallow. So, there we go. I need to get closer here. Ooh. Ooh.
I'm noticing that marshmallow can catch fire and it's still burning even if you let away.
I actually tried to blow it.
Yeah, it's spacebar. That was not in the instructions. Spacebar blows out a burning marshmallow.
Okay, cool.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
So there are some nicey sparkling stars when it is perfect. Like I am right now with my marshmallow.
Are there volume controls for the game itself?
No, there are no volume controls for the game itself.
So,
That's definitely on.
Let me see if I can just lower that volume on my end real quick. I will have to close and be back. Oh. Ooh, there we go.
Dang.
Let's
So
see.
I played some yesterday. I got it golden and sparkly like Harvest mentioned once, but then I've tried to replicate what I did before. I haven't been able to get it golden sparkly again. I'm not sure what the difference has been. I can keep playing around with it though.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright. I
Yeah,
did the
and if
second
you,
time. It's possible.
Have a stream of where you feel like it should be sparkly and it's not, that would be interesting feedback.
Okay.
But it should be pretty consistent where it becomes sparkly. If both sides are roasted within a certain percentage, essentially is the sparkle zone.
Hmm.
It's the only
What
kind of
about
zone.
this? I had like one sparkling, but the badger is telling me that it's like bad. I didn't pass.
Once you've achieved an achievement, like the sparkly one, then if you do another sparkly one, it doesn't beat any other achievement. So that's probably what that feedback is saying. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I get that it's not an achievement, but it is unclear from the dialogue because it just saying that seems like it is not good
Yep.
in a way.
As opposed to this is an achievement you've already earned.
Mm.
Yeah, that would be way clear. Oh, burned.
Chivas. So now I'll use my volume mixer.
Flambe. Flambe.
There we go. Overwhelming
What does
audio.
flambe mean to me?
That's a question only you can answer.
It's true.
Oh, I see. Wait.
I guess there should be some kind of way or hints that tells you an achievement what would be look like the marshmallow cooked.
Have you looked at the achievements page?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm burning this thing all day.
So I may just write down other people's observations.
Yeah, that's good.
What it looks like yesterday when I was playing, the done button was working, but actually now maybe it's because I'm already in Discord. But I tried with and without streaming, and the done button just isn't working for me anymore. Even if I restart the game, just so you know.
I'm trying to.
Great. Yeah, no, broken done button. That's great.
I'm trying to set
Great bug
myself
testing.
on fire here. It's done. Of course not. More fire. Can I? What can I burn? Done. What I want to do is I want to. Yeah.
Flambe. Do these heart eyes have anything to do with it?
Okay. Let me think.
So
It's like puffy breath on it.
Oh, I'm
Let's see.
just gonna Toast and blow. 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 Oh, I missed the sparkles. No. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Done. I want to eat
Perfectly burned.
it. That was a mouth-watering marshmallow. Interesting. Perfectly burned. Let's see if I got anything for that. I want to eat it. Could this be more s'mores? S'mores, scrumptious. I ate a raw marshmallow. Where's my achievement? No one thinks.
Yeah, free fall.
I'm gonna do the dark.
You only get achievements, yeah, if you submit them to the person for
Yeah.
inspection.
Okay. Okay. It should be like achievement check.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. Sparkle, baby. Let's submit this. The warmest congratulations. Based on my professional opinion, you have earned a new badge. Let me go check that. Golden, good and golden, baby.
What could I possibly do to make my marshmallow fall off this thing?
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
That one is probably one of the trickiest badges to get. But if you look at the icon, it does give you a hint. But that's I'll be cryptic.
In
A
real
little
life,
bit.
in real life, I would say the more it's burning, the more it's gonna just turn into sludge and start falling off. But I'm not sure exactly how it works in the game.
Yes, we throughout the prototyping, kept having to balance what people's. Oh, did we just have one fall?
Yes.
Hey, somebody
Yeah.
got it.
A charred or free falling. There we go.
Yeah, we had to balance what people's expectations of marshmallows were with what was reasonable given the scope of time we had. So
Yeah.
we looked at doing like deforming textures to get like the bubbliness of the roasting, but it didn't really add as much as the time it would have taken to make that happen. So we would have loved to have more precise marshmallow physics where they would start falling off at exactly the right moment. But yeah.
So does anybody have smoldering hot or you rock?
Gross. I hope
I
you wash
just-
your hands.
I missed those two. Rapid roast as well.
Yeah. Smoldering Hot, U-Rock is the badge for all the other badges.
Okay.
So Smoldering Hot has seemed to be a point of not being super clear.
My marshmallow immediately caught on fire when I put it on the stick.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I had it at, I don't know how. It's after.
Well,
it
it's
fell
on
off.
stream, so I'll try and reproduce.
Yeah, I think it was after one fell off, and then I put a new marshmallow on, but it was still like at the falling off angle.
Got it.
I want to eat this one. Toasty and tasty. That's right.
So I see 2 sticks, 2 marshmallows, 2 flames, 2 gusts. But I think that's just an after image for one of them.
Mm,
So, unless I need a partner.
yes.
Oh, look! I got some partners. Hey, check this out.
I keep dropping it because I'm so good. I'm not.
So good at dropping.
My deepest apologies. You're not. Lightly up.
Now they fall off all the time, which is right.
I'm just spamming it. No, I'm gonna eat it off the floor. Yes.
Now I can't stop.
Yes. Eat the food off the floor. Yes. Of course.
5 seconds rule.
Yeah.
you get funny. The raccoons say funny little things based on how you cooked it too. If you feed it to the raccoons.
I'm gonna keep it on fire. Oh, I ate it because I was afraid it was gonna catch on fire.
You see that raccoon get freaking snotty with me?
No, no. Oh, you gave the
Is this
raccoon
a
some
hot
fire?
coal or a burnt coal? You're like, come on, buddy.
Like, you want to go back to where you came from? I'm sure that's
I'm gonna
insulting.
fill up these rafters with friends. Friends we made along the way.
Oh, look at that golden marsh.
Hot coal!
Interesting. So we can pretty close to moving on to the next phase of this thing. I'll let everyone else continue to explore, and I'll hopefully make this marshmallow get all the rest of the achievements. Here we go. Done. Okay. No. Cool. So we got a lot of observations. Akamarak was filling in things based on things that we said. That's good. Keep doing that, Mark. Hunting for achievements. Okay. And we have some questions here. We will address those, I guess, before... Yeah, we can address them now. So what is the mental model of how the central verb roasting works? Mental model?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right way to think of it, but just like as you're playing, right? There's a stick and there's a marshmallow and fire, and how are you kind of putting those things together?
I assume that the distance to the fire, even though there's 3 stripes in the feedback down there, is analog. I assume that you can rotate the marshmallow in small increments, but it looked like when it toasted, it was like half a marshmallow at a time, so that just keeps it simple. What else do I think? I think there are not a lot of stages for being cooked. Raw, very light brown, golden, and then it just goes so quickly to burnt. I'm not sure how much strength being on fire is. Fire strength. Just dunk it, let's go. And let's give it to him while burning, let's go. You are welcome. Burn, baby, burn. Oh, I wanted to get a dark side. But yeah, those are some of my initial comments, I guess.
That's all great feedback. Other people, did you have thoughts on like how you think it works?
Let's see. For some reason, I didn't think this. When I sit back and think about it, the stick that your marshmallow's on is not. It's more like a fishing line than it is a stick that you would stick into a fire.
A roasting stick.
Yeah, but
How so?
Just basically this motion you're doing. It has a fulcrum at the base, and then it's leaning over, but it's you would kind of like poke, kind of like you poke at a fire. You
Stoke
push,
and poke, yeah.
Yeah. You push marshmallows into a fire. Although in the game sense, especially when I'm clicking the mouse, I always click at the base, and then it helps me. For me in particular, I always get my y-axes mixed up, especially when I'm switching from game to game. In this one, I always click the bottom of the stick and pull up to make it go down, so it keeps things game-wise really simple in my head. I don't think this is probably the best kind of motion for the stick because there's no poking, kind of natural poking motion in control setups or gameplay that I can think of that comes to mind. Yeah, but definitely this is a flight stick kind of motion, which I like.
Yeah, it's interesting.
One thing I noticed is that I spent more time watching the UI in the bottom corner to actually get like a sense of how deep I was going compared to actually see the stick and the marshmallow in front of me. So it was like watching only on the corner at a point to get like the perfect results.
Let's see how well.
That is an interesting observation because even when you roast marshmallows normally, the fire and the marshmallow are pointed away from you, and that's why I guess you spin more rapidly in real life than you would. I think you can in this game. That's the other thing. I didn't think I could spin quick enough, my marshmallow quick enough to see the bottom without the HUD as I wanted to. So I relied, like Harper said, more on the HUD than kind of like using my natural visuals.
Yeah, especially because it's kind of slow actually rotate with the mouse compared to the result you might want to obtain intuitively.
Oh well, and one other thing, the fire. One of my favorite things to do when roasting marshmallows is, catch it on fire, and then you can like move the stick around so that the flames, which always point up, like coat different parts of the marshmallow, and then you pretty much have a separate sort of interaction with the flames like that. I really enjoy doing that. Not that this game, of course, has to do any of that, but that's the first thing I tested when it was on fire. I was like, ooh, like fire is always dangerous, and I feel like if you don't have a sense of danger, it's not fire. So we're not quite to the suggestion points yet, but just keep in mind that I want a way to burn myself. Like even if the character is just like you're like, yep, it's fire. Like never. Something about forest safety protocols, fire, Smokey the Bear, or something.
Yeah. That could be tied with the way you swinging the stick as well.
Cool.
If you swing like too sharply, you can get like extinguished or spread more depending on how you move it.
Yeah. And Harbus, are you streaming currently or just playing on your own?
No, because I cannot do both at the same time.
Okay.
So right now I am in the spreadsheet.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Mark.
I was just gonna say one other thing. I would love if it was a little more involved to blow the fire out, because when you're roasting a marshmallow in real life, when it lights on fire, like no.
Yeah.
If there was some little mini game or something
And maybe you can actually.
a little more of a tense moment, like my marshmallow's on fire. How do I get it out again?
Yeah.
It
It could be something easy, like pressing more times, and you have like a bar, or visually you can see the fire getting like bigger or smaller based on your performance, for example.
Okay, so how well does the visuals, shader bar, side view, HUD elements, and audio help support the gameplay? I'm not playing with too much audios because the stream gets crazy, but who else can comment on the audio?
That's interesting. I guess I didn't even pay attention to this. I guess soundtrack in the background, but it's like hauntingly all not what I expect out of campfire music. I guess what I expect is just a bunch of like natural kind of chirps and nature stuff, and the crackling of the. Wait, can I hear the crackling of the fire? Yeah, it's faint. Yeah, it's cool. I guess I just expect more nature. This kind of sounds freaky. Kind of. If that's what you're going for, you nailed it. But it does sound freaky.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a similar thought, like apart from adjusting the volume of that is the nature of the prototype, but in general the music kind of distracts from like hearing the crackling or the burning of the fire, etc. That also serves as a purpose for gameplay because they are feedback on how the cooking is doing.
Did anyone notice that the marshmallow makes sound as you cook it? Probably, I'm guessing not, but
I think it's a problem for the volume.
Yeah,
The music is too loud.
I did notice the marshmallow making the sound. I think it just blended in with the other sounds going on for me.
Got it.
Okay.
Other than that, the visual and the HUD are really useful. As I said before, I basically mostly played by watching the UI and also like having the visual feedback or the progress of the cooking.
Okay. We'll move on to the next questions. We can always come back, and the sheet's always here. So, how did the goals and achievements motivate you to play in the exploration of your central verb? Everything.
But this is exactly what happened when we went to the what's it called? Hot Shot Golf?
Oh, Topgolf.
Topgolf. I went to Topgolf with my brother, and we don't know how to golf, so we're like, we go up there and hit the ball. We're like, this is kind of boring. And then finally, was like, oh, Richard, we should like aim for the holes. And then it became fun. Oh, this is amazing. Same thing happened with this. I was just messing around. I'm like, okay, this is neat, I guess. And that's how the achievements. Oh, achievements. Oh, let me see. And that kind of it really spurred me to play the game. So yeah, it's really useful to get you to focus on what things you can do with the marshmallow and the various ways the marshmallow can be cooked.
Yeah, it's really important. There are many games like this, like I Wish I Were the Moon, which is a small browser-based indie game, and there's games like Good Morning, which is like a Unity game I played just randomly the other week, but they're very small and they have different possibilities that can happen. So because the game is so quick, you're like, I want to find them all, right? I'll sit here and I'll do it in one sitting, and that's part of the charm of it. So yeah, definitely falls into that category. So.
Yeah. I think when I first started playing the game, same thing. It's like, oh, okay. At first, it's just like, okay, I'm motivated by my curiosity to play around with the basic mechanics, figure out what's going on, and then after that, the main the main point of this game seems to be going after the different achievements. And so for that, I think it's important to sort of point the player there more clearly at the beginning. That way, they get to what the core of it is more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought.
Yeah, I agree. As I said, while I was playing, I wish there was like more dialogue pointing me to that. The badger telling me, "Oh, you achieved this, and did it again. You know, there are something else you can do, etc." A different way of cooking it.
Cool. Next question: how does the skill gap feel? Is the floor low enough, and do you want a higher ceiling? My first comment was, with so many achievements, I didn't feel like there was much skill. You're just exploring like the possibilities. So whether you burn it or not burn it, or eat it raw, like do whatever, just try stuff, and you'll get closer to the goal. But the golden marshmallow in particular took the most focus. I think you really had to time and be ready to pull that marshmallow out without catching it on fire. So that's a good, nice, at least for the skill ceiling. That was about all that there was to it. Anybody else?
I think that the degree, like the stages of the marshmallow, are like too close together, and it's hard to tell sometimes how much time or how you should rotate, etc. Get like to a specific point. So I guess because it is too quick, it's hard to obtain what you want, or like be challenged to do that.
Let's see. Yeah, as far as difficulty goes, right now that's mainly like control, a little bit of timing, and so there, like you said, the golden marshmallow was the trickiest one. That's one that I was spending the most time like coming back to and like trying to get right. For the other ones, I think it was more about exploration and more about like, okay, what's the trick to this one?
I personally didn't find it so hard getting the gold, because I just followed the kind of hidden hints about the UI that telling you to go back and forth between green and orange. Was slowly rotating the marshmallow and changing between the two.
Cool. We will move right along. Next is, does the central verb feel robustly explored through the goals? Are you left wanting more? As someone who didn't get all the achievements, right, wanting more is not, as far as goals go, I feel like there's enough. In terms of interactions, I feel like what you can do with the marshmallow, especially if we consider I'll show on the screen, the after verbs, right? Eating it, giving it to a friend, and expecting it. These are basically three major options that kind of get downplayed a little bit, at least UI wise and game wise. So when I think about the full range of options, I kind of wanted more than just a text response from the eating. I kind of wanted a little bit more than like the same two responses from the raccoons. And I know I gave all my raccoons like raw marshmallows, but they deserved it. and the achievement badges, just a little bit that shows that they are responding to the specific scenarios, no matter how many specific scenarios you have, even if it's just 10. Yeah, so that's what I wanted more of.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be interesting to have also some kind of objective related to these other things present in the game, like being to friends, eating, and yeah, these two, rather than cooking.
I have
Which could
some...
be also achievements in a way.
I'm trying to think. I have some thoughts on some fun ways to add in a little bit of different kinds of difficulty, but I don't know if we're there yet.
Yeah, we will get to suggestions and
Should I
ideas
wait?
soon. So we'll tackle the last question
Sure.
and then we'll move on. If nothing else changed, how would your interest in this game change if it used a different input system, touchscreen, VR, motion controls? Yeah, anybody?
I think with motion controls, at least, I feel like it could potentially feel more intuitive. Like, oh yeah, roasting a marshmallow. Just like naturally moving your stick around would at least initially get me more engaged with the game, maybe.
I told Richard when I first played it, I'm like, oh, this is like a WarioWare micro game, or 3 stages of a WarioWare micro game.
Yeah.
I specifically thought it was WarioWare Twist.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Right. This was a WarioWare Twist, and then I guess the fire burned a little bit hotter. You really have to like gyro around the GBA.
Yeah.
Your marshmallow doesn't burn. Like, oh man, that sounds like an action game. That's what I first suggested to Richard. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and kind of speaking to that, or what you said reminded me, like I expected a little bit more humor. I love the achievement humors and the little icons, and the dialogue is funny, but I could tell like, ooh, it's leaning in on this is kind of absurd kind of dialogue, because we're getting raccoon friends and a possum inspector. I don't even know if I'm a human, right? There's a lot of little things. There's a lot of little things to it that I think are fit in the scenario, but maybe not brought out through the actual elements as much. But yeah, all good comments, everyone. We are going to move on. For the most part, there's no level design, right? So we were talking about design space, really, like what's possible, what does the game appear to poke at, and where could it do more? We can do a design space consideration more as we move forward. But the thing that I think will be most beneficial at this point is to talk about suggestions and ideas. And like after playing the game, now we have the best possible starting point to make effective suggestions. It's not just like, I don't like this game, I like s'mores instead of marshmallows. Like, too bad, like this game's about marshmallows. We're gonna focus on what we have here and see if there's more inspiration we can scratch. So everyone simultaneously, you can add elements, ideas that you think would be interesting, even if they're kind of far-fetched. You know, we have a full spreadsheet here and plenty of room. But to kind of kick things off, I know I mentioned a little bit about humor and the response that we get from the possum and the raccoons. There's a range of possibilities that the verbs currently don't cover. Like I said before, you can't burn yourself, and the fire right there here. The fire is not hot. And then when you light a marshmallow on fire and drop it, I don't think it's any different from. I could test it, but I don't think it's any different from if it's just burnt and you drop it. So like la 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 la. Let's do it. Do the thing. Oh, it's gotta be at that angle or something. I don't even know how to do it. But yeah, and the fact that you give a flaming thing to an animal and it's not really worried. Things like that. So yeah, even with this, like wiggling the stick left and right, like there's no actual point between left and right that differentiates this, and I feel like the setting that you set, that would be a thing if there was like a raccoon walking by on the right, or a raccoon going to sit down and kind of moving past you. And a lot of this is kind of built into the scenario just based on experiences roasting marshmallows. It's fun, and it's like fun for the whole family, but there's always that element of danger and proximity, right? Proximity to the fire, proximity to other people, and yeah, those kind of details I think would be interesting to consider. Anybody else?
So I was thinking, another thing to explore, to potentially explore, for some variation as you're cooking your marshmallows, there could be the wind blowing the fire around could affect some things. Like suddenly the fire could be a bit closer, or a bit further away, and so you could have to adjust to the wind.
That is a thing.
And then the other thought, I haven't had this happen while I was roasting a marshmallow, so maybe stretching a little bit, but in our old city, when we lived by the ocean, we used to have Seahawks. I think they were technically kites, but they were very aggressive. If you were eating outside, they stole meat from my hand. They stole a chopstick from my hand. And so just like maybe having an owl or something, like you hear the hoot and you're like, oh, I need to pull my marshmallow back, or it's gone. Something like that could be fun.
Yeah, and for any reaction or action in the game, you know, I filled my entire audience with raccoons, and I know they're stiff, right? They're kind of like toys at this point, but man, to get different reactions depending on one, how many there are, and two, how happy they are with the marshmallows you gave them would be kind of funny. Just yeah, I just love looking at them. They're not moving.
Yes, I do have an animation on the raccoon model, but was unable to get it into Unity. So that's definitely a space I'd love to explore more.
Mm-hmm. Oh
yeah.
That reminded me of this is my general takeaway is my upper level takeaway is food and games, right? Because you can't eat the food, right? And things like Food Network are like, well, you get to see tasty food and it looks real because it is real. And, you know, that's what TV food is. Food and games, especially in cartoon games, the takeaway isn't eating food. The takeaway is kind of the environment the food is created or eaten or served in, right? Like overcooked, right? You're making and serving food, but it's not like, well, you made a burger. It's no, you made enough burgers for the customers in time, teaming up with people, right? And that's the dynamic food serves in that game. Similarly, like we have marshmallows. The cool thing about marshmallow is much more so than I think any other food I've seen in the game, that cooking is very simple and is very visual. So the cooking part is cool, but then the resulting part of the food being cooked is the achievements are cool because that's the game part. But beyond the game part, like what do you want to say or do or show with this campfire scene in which you cook marshmallows? And then what you kind of hinted at is like, oh, these raccoons are probably like the feel-good story aspect of it. You're like, oh, what if the raccoons did something if enough of them had a certain type of marshmallows? And that's what takes me to my next point. Food Wars has a really neat intro that I really like. It's basically everybody sitting around the table and they're all just eating food, but then the way they're eating it, they all have just like very simple, like 3 or 5 frame animations that they repeat over and over and over and over and over again. And just across the scene just shows everybody enjoying each other's company. That's kind of what Richard's comment with the raccoons reminded me of. Oh, if everybody had marshmallows, they would all kind of like sway happily, but if they all have burnt marshmallows, they would all brown. Like ooh, sorry guys. Right, you're just that's like a very like non-judgmental, non-gamey kind of take that people would kind of like gravitate towards, kind of like in the Animal Crossing, kind of make your own fun sense.
Yeah, just jumping off of that a little bit, if I can't taste the marshmallows, somebody else has to, and seeing it on the raccoon's face would be everything. Like a real close up, and you see like the mouth, like you're like, come on, does he like it? Not only that, like raccoons can have their own taste. Some can like it crispy, some can't. Seeing the reaction and just kind of engaging in that, I hope they like it. Loop is one really important aspect of food, and it's to take the theme to the extreme, right? I know this whole scenario is light on narrative, but if you do a whole Kojima, like what if I could bring peace to the world through marshmallow cooking? Like, and the campfire these raccoons had some kind of issue or some kind of problem you could resolve by either giving them X kinds of marshmallows or not. You give the troublemakers all burnt marshmallows, they huddle together or whatever. You separate people based on the marshmallows you give them. That's just like an extreme idea, but it's really funny when you think, I've got a stick, but I also have the power to change the world, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really interesting. I was typing some idea related to actually the raccoons reacting to what you're doing. So, in addition to what Richard said, maybe the raccoons can have like names, so you memorize that Richard is eating marshmallow crispy or whatever, and they also react while you are cooking. They are like cheating at you if you're doing well, or like booing you if you're like burning everything else. And maybe if you're there are also challenge with raccoons that want to see if they can cook better than you, so stuff like that. So let's see who make the best 10 golden marshmallow next, stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
because
guys both narrative and difficulty design in a way.
yeah, we definitely need an off ramp, right? When we're done with marshmallows and all the raccoons are sitting down, we either need like an ending, right? You're like, hey, happy eating marshmallows, or everybody's sad eating burnt marshmallows.
And that ending
Something
needs to be achievable by most players. The achievements, I don't think most players are going to get them. I want to get them all, but it gets kind of old trying and dying, or trying and failing. So yeah, definitely an ending that we can see like that and kind of relish in would be cool.
Oh, just one other thought. With as far as the raccoons interacting, just to have the atmosphere like change over time, it could be interesting to have this maybe, I don't know how much effort you want to put into this, but having the raccoons like start humming like a little campfire song or something.
Yeah.
And then they could layer together the more you get, and it could be a little different depending on the type of marshmallow they got. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Figuring out how to end this has been one of the constant struggles. So this has already given me several ideas.
One thing that I thought of earlier, so I put a note down there, is that you should introduce the elements more slowly into the experience, and that becomes more clear once you realize what your ending is, and because you can tie your ending with your beginning. But I feel like the start of this experience should just be like sky, trees, and then like fire, and you're like, cool, fire, main subject, and then you roast a thing and you're all by yourself, and then you like, the only option you have is to eat it or whatever, and then like you roast another one, then a raccoon comes by, and then the scene starts to set itself up, and then one raccoon mentions the achievements or something, and that pops up later. I feel like the achievements should pop up later after people have a chance of like getting a sense of what the scene is.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense in terms of like kind of level progression of the different elements.
But I guess there are more things to roast. You don't need to roast any more things, but I don't know. You could easily just take a hot dog out of the bag, right? As you could have. It'd just be a red, long marshmallow.
Yeah.
That's a hot dog.
Oh, that's funny. You could also roast your friends. You blacken the marshmallow, treat it like a mic, and be like, yo, all you raccoons out there. I'm just kidding. For simple scenes like this, trying to incorporate all the visual elements into one sort of diegetic scene is always like the challenge. And with more time, budget, money, whatever, like I'd imagine the sash would be something that you could see looking down, if you could look down. I'd imagine that with enough fidelity, you wouldn't need the meter on the right. You would just be able to like lean around, see the fire, hold the stick, all that kind of stuff. And the marshmallow bag would probably just be like down to your side, so it wouldn't just be hovering there, right? So that's just comments on the majority of the scene. Like you can see right now on my stream, it's oddly cropped into a tiny 16:9. So I know I can get rid of this. So now that thing's still there, right? Okay, so now it's a vertical column. And just rearranging or shrinking elements of the HUD would help. Hey, the stars are moving. Yeah. Nice. And putting the
Great.
putting the fire out might be a good ending to reveal the stars and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, no, this is all really super helpful feedback. You know, it touches on several ideas we brought up throughout the process, and the band didn't do to scope. But like, this gives me so much to like plan the next iteration on.
Yeah.
And it was really great to hear that most of what you want is already based on the elements that are there, rather than like, oh, I want a bent stick and, you know, a really complex geometry that has 5 different points. Like,
yeah, a 4-dimensional marshmallow. Give me that.
Like, it seems like 2 sides of the marshmallow, like, is a sufficient complexity of, like, for what this is. Like, it doesn't need to have, we originally had 4 sides of the marshmallow that roasted independently, and that maybe isn't actually needed, that level of complexity.
Yeah, 4 sides would work if the controls were different. Because rotating is kind of slow and it's a little hard because it's a mouse wheel, 2 simplifies the whole thing. And if it were a Wii remote or a motion controls, definitely having more sides would be a must. Just thinking if this was an Animal Crossing game, or some other Nintendo games, I feel like every step of a process they kind of treat as a mini celebration. So rather than just like, you know, click a marshmallow and it appears, and rather than just like give it Expector and he appears and disappears, making the most significant actions a little bit more pronounced, right? Harvest mentioned slowing things down so it doesn't cook as fast, but yeah, that's all a part of it. That's all a part of it.
Oh, one thing I want to mention when I was playing, I put it in there now. Like one full scroll, the mouse scroll wheel should flip it 180 degrees, right? Because how people typically roast marshmallows, to check, like I said before, when you're roasting the fire and the part of the marshmallow that's being cooked is facing away from you. So to check, people put out and then they quick turn, check, and quick turn, push it in, right? No one. The slow spin is like a rotisserie method, which I guess a professional marshmallow roaster would do, but I know people, right? Like you said, it's one side and then the other side. But to check the side, they do quick checks and then quick check or quick spin back. So I don't know if the slow spin is best for that method. But yeah.
And there could be both. Like we hitting the middle mouse button, it does a 180-degree turn directly. While if you rotate, it rotates slowly. Or another idea could be to have a modifier to the rotation, like holding shift and then you rotate faster and do like to the other side quicker. Something like that.
That's the other thing. I guess if it's just 50-50 marshmallows, it's deceiving. Because I think the slow scroll is deceiving because I think I'm turning it like a quarter turn, but it's still cooking half the side and it burns. So if you like, made it discrete chunks, people be more attuned to the fact that you're just cooking one side of the marshmallow or you're cooking the other one.
Cool.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, any final questions or comments from Dave?
Hey, somebody just dropped in at the last minute.
Cool.
On Twitch. Hi, Nick from Hawaii. That's this is all great. Like pointing out that the right button is not doing anything, and that you often want like the quick twists, all new. I have like a pile of notes, not counting the spreadsheet that y'all have been filling out. So. I've got work for days now.
Yeah, it's a really fun concept. There's lots of really small indie games that I feel like have made a big impact on me and my design and stuff that I like to do. So there's definitely there's a lot that can be done with small scopes and good design. So, we wish you the best and let us know how everything goes.
All right, will do.
All right, Stream. Hey, that's it for today's game breakdown session. If you want to know more about who we are and what we do, check us out at designoriented.net. There's plenty of information there for you and a Discord channel that you can jump in right now and talk to us. But until next time, everybody, say bye.
Everybody, bye.
Bye.
Bye.